Yo, yo, what's good, everybody? We should be live.
You know how much of a delay we're gonna have? Let me pull up the
It shouldn't be too bad.
screen.
Yo, yo, what's good, everybody? Oh, shit, be live. Oh, that's the. Okay. All right. Sorry about that, guys. Running a little late, but it's all good.
Yeah, that's my fault.
Nah.
Apologies.
We gonna blame Subaru.
No, not the short king.
That boy has got.
I
Watch
sound
it.
right. I sound. My
Yeah,
mic's hooked up, right?
You sound good. Watch it be like some shit. Gabriel, what's happening? Don, Lucas, Zoni. Like, imagine Subaru is just kind of like a one-off panel of him being that short. You know what I mean? And then like next chapter, we just see him like 6'8", cock swole. I'm gonna look like a fool because I even put a tweet out calling him the most eligible bachelor, and at the very last thing that the things that make him good was he's 5'5". It's like, oh, he's a sushi. He can make sushi chef, master swordsman, master swordsmith, 5'5". I'm only 5'9". I can't say shit, you know.
You know, if it was like a Tinder profile, you know, he's adding a couple of inches.
I mean, shit. I think we can all use a couple inches. You know what I mean?
Yeah, stop it.
Oh, my bad. How's everybody holding up tonight, though? Dice, how was your day?
I'm tired, but
it tells us everything.
Nah, we're here, man. Ready to talk some bocce, talk some theories, speculate a little bit with the chat.
Ooh, fuck yeah, baby.
Yeah, but we're here, man. I'm excited to, you know, I see you put up a poll already. You know, will we see Chiaki next chapter? I hadn't even thought of that. I'll be honest, I'm a bit unprepared for this stream, but we'll come up with something to get into, and I think Chiaki is a great place to start. So
Chiaki sounds like
probably waiting for a
fire ass Chinese restaurant.
Hold up, Zoni saying, of course he would be just like the goat Natsuki Subaru from ReZero. Yeah, Zoni knows ball, Mario. Zoni knows ball.
But Mario don't know ball.
Mario knows ball. What you talking about? Why doesn't Mario know ball?
He knows about balls.
Nah, hell nah.
Let's
not treat Mario like that.
There we go, Zoni. Look at that. Big W's for Zoni.
English and past. Hey, nice, Zoni. Chiaki got another 3 chapters. You mean like she's not gonna pull up for another 3 chapters, Mario?
Yeah, I don't know if we see her. You know, I could see this coming chapter being like strictly about Subaru and Kunishige, whether they actually have a pre-existing like relationship of sensei, you know, student, or if it's just you know he's going to be able to tell right away that Kunishige is built different when it comes to like swordsmithing, you know, and it'll be more about and then I can see Chiaki coming in next chapter,
like the one after next chapter, you mean? I think I'm just to make sure I'm following, right?
Oh no, like we got like 116. I could see her coming in.
Exactly. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So
my bad.
Perfect. No, it's all good. I just wanted to make sure I was following. So yeah, you let me know. We're ready. I think we got a couple of people in here already. I think we can
get cracking.
You know, start talking. Yeah.
I mean,
I think that was a good point. Like I hadn't really thought of. I hadn't really thought of like, because you know, I think I was just so caught up in the theory that they already knew each other that I hadn't really considered like if this wasn't which is very likely that Subaru wasn't the guy that necessarily not trained, but where who Kunishige learned under, right? Essentially,
Hmm.
um, if he isn't, then it would be very interesting to see, like you said, one of these three treasures of Japan, see him reacting to Kunishige and a man of that reputation. Would Subaru be like this kind of stuck up? Would he look down on Kunishige, or like you said, would he immediately kind of recognize, yo, this dude is built different, or is it going to be like a process, right? Kind of seeing like, um, so yeah, I hadn't really considered that, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, and I mean, I could see like if they don't know each other and this is their first time meeting, I can I could see a situation where they don't take Kunishige super serious at first, and maybe he just shows them what he can do because Shiba's there, you know what I mean? And Shiba's still like, he has notoriety in the world of sorcery and all that. So they're like, oh well, Shiba brought him here anyway. We might as well see what he can do, type of thing. And then right when Subaru's gonna basically be able to tell by his first, like when he does that first sword. Not saying an enchanted blade, but maybe they just try to see what he can do with making a normal sword. Or maybe they show that's what Mashiro's sword's for.
I was about to say,
he's like,
yeah.
look at his sword. I made that one, and they'll be like, oh yeah,
Like,
this
huh?
is quality work
Yeah.
here. And then Subaru's probably be like, all right, bet let me go make some sushi. And then let
Light up
him
the
take,
forge.
yeah, because this kid Kunishige is the real deal. Like he made, I pale in comparison to his sword smithing skills.
I don't know, but I don't know if you'll say that,
Yeah.
but yeah, I'm following. I see what you're saying.
And like that,
Uh,
I could just see that kind of playing out like that. But I mean, the likely route is that he probably did teach Kunishige or something.
you think that's more likely?
I mean, I guess like, dude, I really don't know because I feel like that's kind of
I
like,
mean, it really is 50-50, really.
yeah, I think
But
that's
I see what you're saying.
I think this is one of the like most 50-50 like story developments, like plot developments. Like most of the time, it's like I feel strong about like a certain one. Like I feel strong about Mashiro not making out of this flashback. That's just one thing I think that he's not. He's gonna be on some high bar timing.
Yeah, I definitely see that. We've talked about that. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's interesting for sure. Like I said, I think it's 50-50, but it's just mainly because we have no idea right now. But yeah, it's we discussed it already in our last chapter coverage review,
Mm-hmm.
that it seemed like Hokazono was setting something up there, right? Kind of showing us a little bit of what Kunishige, or like Kunishige's kind of background, as well as like introducing Subaru, but it doesn't necessarily have to be a connection. So we'll see. Either way, I think I think we both agree that that is one of like the dynamics to look out for, especially because we've already talked about wanting to get more from these other bearers, and it seems like Subaru's gonna be the guy we're gonna dive into first, and that relationship with Kunishige, regardless what it is, I think that's one of the things we're looking forward to. And I said this also as well as in the last episode, but he's the one like older member, right? Among all the other enchanted blade bearers, Subaru seems to be the oldest, and so that dynamic between him and Kunishige is naturally going to be different, right? To what the little we've seen between Kunishige and other sword bearers, mainly Uruha, right? We haven't really seen a lot of the interactions with guys like Samura, much less Ibuki. Um,
Why'd
but
you
yeah,
throw
maybe we're gonna
Ibuki's
see
name
like
out like that? I'm sensitive about my goat.
uh,
He said, and Ibuki. Obviously,
Ibuki, I
he already got
guess.
packed up.
No, but yeah, I think we're gonna see the difference in again in like that and how they interact, I believe.
Yeah,
Right.
especially like with him being like older, like or the oldest looking
Yeah.
one at least. He
Imagine he's like 23.
yeah, he's a
He's
Benjamin
just one of
Button.
those
He's
guys.
Benjamin Button, the Japanese Benjamin
Uh,
Button.
we all went to school with that one guy.
Yeah, yeah. My
uh,
barber had a beard when he was in middle school, dead ass. So
Type shit. Yeah.
yeah, that boy's probably
Uh,
born with back hair. You know what I mean?
oh man.
But I could see like Subaru, you know, because we know from what we know now, the sword bearers like are pretty hyped on Kunishige as a person. You know, like everyone we've met, you know, holds him in high regards and like respects the shit out of him. Which I mean, hey, like he turned the tide of the war. You know what I mean? So it makes sense. You know, like the people like they respected him. You know, they don't blame him for like what happened. Um, I think that like maybe Subaru being the one sword bearer that isn't as like hyped on Kunishige, not like in a like he hates on him, but he's just not as like because we see Uruha of like fanboys. Uruha's such a big fanboy. He was like he was sipping the tip of his sun just because he had the same look, and you know like and
Yeah,
look
he
at
was calling him Kunishige, right? He was like,
yeah
he was pretending like
yeah
that was Kunishige.
that boy was in that train kicking his feet. You know, it looked like a shojo manga in that part. And but like him, I think the only way that works for Subaru not to be as like as you know bit like hyping and giving the glaze Kunishige would be if Subaru did teach Kunishige, because he would still have that maybe like that kind of like, oh well, I taught him, you know what I mean? So he's like, I'm not gonna take no shit from him. Like, not saying that Kunishige does, you know, any fuck shit, but just more like
I
not
mean,
play with his like jokes and stuff. Oh, well, I mean, yeah, I mean, I do think Kunishige like he might be aggravating to deal with.
yeah, no, for sure, for sure. Uh, give me 1 second. I'm trying to
You're
look
good,
up
bro.
something.
I can yap. What do y'all think of this new animated wallpaper? This Hirohiko joint. I couldn't. I got to reanimate the keyframes for the eye to make the eyes open and close. But man, you know, one thing I will say though is, in the first two chapters of this flashback, I feel like you know, and we did briefly talk about this during the episode. I think I kind of did a long-winded explanation of it. But just like I didn't expect to get as much as we've already gotten from the first two chapters. You know, like I thought it was gonna kind of build up a bit, you know what I mean? But like already meeting Subaru, we have Mashiro, and Mashiro is getting like characterization to some degree, you know what I mean?
Definitely.
So, you know, I feel like, you know, if I still think this can go, I kind of bumped it up a little bit. I used to be at the 15 to 20 mark, but now I'm thinking it's like 25 to 30 mark of chapters. Personally, and like with Hokuzono, it's like covering so much ground in so little time. You know, it's the man could get a lot done in 20-30 chapters. Like, you know, think about it. The 2 versus 2 fight, the 2v2 fight in the Kamunabi HQ arc, that was 20 chapters ago, and a lot of shit has happened since then.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's the main reason why I have agreed in terms of like that being the more likely result, right? It doesn't go over like 25 chapters.
Yeah, I still don't see how people think 60 or 100. Like 60, I can at least be like,
No,
okay,
100,
I could see,
100 is definitely way too much.
Yeah, 100. I'm like, my lord, like, who are we? Like, we're gonna really like go on like side quests with the Soga clan and.
Yeah, even I mean, shit, even 60 chapters would kind of like require us spending a lot of extra time with characters that we barely know, and I've entertained it because I've said this before, like I think it would be cool to see a big chunk of Kagurabachi's like whole story really take place in the past, and this being like the kind of story that isn't just told through the lens of Chihiro but rather through the lens of both Chihiro and Kunishige. I just think it would be, you know, something very interesting for this story, and not something that you see very often. I think the type of flashback arcs that we're talking about, like on like the shorter side, I think that's a bit more of like what you'd expect and a bit more of like the norm. Obviously I'm not like an avid manga reader, Tiberius, so you know way more than I do, but I do think that, like, again, just spending a good amount of time in the past, and because of the way the Seitei War has been talked about, that it being a significant portion of the overall story, I think could lead to some, you know, just a very unique story told overall. And also the way you look at things moving in the present in regards to like Soga, um, I think the only thing that really kind of lends itself to us having to spend way more time in the present is the fact that Chihiro still has a large gap to kind of close in terms of reaching Soga, but Soga's moving like it's the final arc already. Like he's taken over. The Hishaku are basically done for. I mean, they're not done for, right? We know that we're probably gonna see more of them for sure. But I also, like, what I'm trying to say is that, like, the way things were set in the present, I can also see a situation that, like, again, a lot of the stories fleshed out in the Seitei War arc, and then next time we jump into the present, it is basically like the last third of the story. um Again, I know that's crazy to say, right? But it's just
I get what you
I
mean,
think it
though.
would be very interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, I think there's reasons that back that up too. Like you mentioned that I could see something like that. I mean, we just don't know what Hokuzono has planned, obviously, but I do want to touch on chat real quick. Zoni said,
Oh, of
bro, if
course.
Mashiro gets sliced by some random Islander number 52 is gonna take Mashiro out. uh
No.
nah. Lucas, people saying 100 are trolling. They gotta be, man.
It gotta be. Yeah, yeah.
Gotta
No, that's
be.
ridiculous. They gotta.
Alex Gaming, I think that's Alex Gaming. If Subaru isn't his teacher, I do hope Hokuzono shows who his teacher was, but I don't know if Hokuzono sees it as relevant for the Seitei War arc. Yeah, I get you, and that's a good
Yeah.
something to bring up, because I even entertained the possibility that what if one of the other three like treasures of Japan, was like another swordsmith, and he taught Kunishige, kind of like being Subaru's rival or some shit, or Subaru's brother, and Subaru is familiar with Kunishige, but I think that just seems like very convoluted and a lot of extra steps you got to go through. It'd be just so easy. It'd be way easier just to like accept that he learned from a master swordsmith. He knows the basics, and his eyes just help him like elevate his, his like status as a being trained by a master swordsmith. Or of course, if he's just Subaru's, Subaru was his teacher. That I mean, that's also very easy. Lucas, I'm looking for a One Piece level flashback here personally. Now,
Oh,
I've watched 670 episodes of One Piece and dropped it. Just fatigued out. Dice has never touched the IP.
no, actually, I have. I got like, oh god, I don't think I've ever publicly said this, but like, I think I got like 14 episodes into One Piece. Like,
He makes it sound
I
like
never.
it's a bad thing. Like, he's like, oh, I never said this out loud.
Yeah,
It's all
yeah.
right.
No, yeah,
They
I
won't
didn't get
come
out
for
the
you.
first arc, honestly.
Yeah.
It's a safe space.
So Lucas, tell me what that means exactly. A One Piece level flashback here. Now I make a lot of One Piece thumbnails for verdicts
I'm
and some other
sorry, man.
ones.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you're good, brother. I am familiar with a decent bit of the stuff that's happening in One Piece, just from like making thumbnails and using the panels. Look, now I'm getting cooked. God damn.
I told you this is why I didn't want to. I didn't want to go public, man.
Yeah. Let's see. Mashiro's death might be what led Soga down the path he went down. Lucas says, I'm not sure Akamaru knows who that boy is. What's up,
I saw some people
PB?
saying Mashiro could be like from the Soga clan, but I doubt it. Like if he's the Soga guardian, I don't think he'd be.
Well, and we know from the title page, they
Could
didn't
be.
translate his name, but we know his like last name is like Shuji, or his Mashiro Shuji or whatever.
Yes, that's true. That's true.
And
That's true.
but maybe he's like attached to them the way Shiba is, or something like that. I know I'm missing out on peak, and I am doing the air quotes when I say peak.
Now, Kid Mo said you guys should read it instead. Yeah, I think I pulled up the first chapter once as well. But I think that was more like on a whim. That wasn't really like, I think I just checked it out.
He felt zesty, so he decided to open up a One Piece chapter and get into a nice bath.
That was a minute ago, though.
Bath. Nah, but yeah, you know, One Piece ain't that bad. But you know, I do get what you're saying about the flashback. I think like Kuma had his flashback and all that, and I think that was kind of very, you know, I think it was very like it resonated. You know, like that feeling and the shit that Oda was trying to convey really hit from what it looked like. Yeah, Brewski, I'm with you. I'm not looking for a One Piece anything level. Yo, One Piece is the best 7 out of 10 manga I've ever read. Brother, look, deadass, on Dice's soul, I got a death threat for calling One Piece the most 7 out of 10 series ever. Isn't that crazy?
Let's not turn this into a One Piece slander.
Yeah, like...
Because I think we can get carried away easily.
Oh, yeah, like I said, I mean, One Piece hating, Shiba hating, like, you... Just roll out the red card.
That's just natural to you. Prince Blade, what's up, Prince Blade? He said he got his name revealed. Yeah, Mashiro. Yeah, I was fuming actually. Like I told Tiberius, I don't get, because it seemed like it wasn't an editor's note, and I really don't get why like those editor's notes aren't translated in officials. And I'm like that's every manga, right? Like I just don't get it because a lot of the time so much context is missing from those editors' notes that like I just don't get why they don't translate them.
Okay, so, here we go.
But yeah, we got his name.
We got the first person gonna ever be banned from Hishaku Hideout. First time here to
What's
say
good, Dita, man? What's good?
God, I hope my shit. Now I'm gonna start. Oh, now I'm about to start crashing out. I let that slide though because I do talk a lot of shit about some other characters, and hey. Game is game. I can't hate on that. Maybe Ibuki is a bum and he's just been finessing this whole time.
If you dish it, you gotta be able to take it.
I ain't gonna. Oh, facts. It would be hella funny though if we do see like Natsuki, younger Natsuki in the flashback, and then we just see him talk to his brother as his brother like dashes forward and kills somebody and then says something, but he never turns around. It's just his back still. And I'm like, what the hell?
I've been telling you, like, and again, this is just kind of like me just saying shit, honestly, right? But I don't know why I have this funny feeling that, like, Hogazono's going to want to keep this mystery around him. And, like, it would be cool if he chooses, like, one sword bearer that is just, like, you know, just so much, like, mystery surrounding him. And in this case, like, it's not really a lot of mystery. It's just not seeing his face. But I'm telling you, bro, the minute we see Ibuki's face, he's losing aura. That's all I'm gonna say.
Nah, my boy. Not my boy. I've seen handsome backs before. That's a handsome back.
We're not doing this again. No, we're not doing this again.
Man, Ibuki had the girls coming over to his little spot. You know, he was retired, but don't ever get it twisted. My man was unsheathing that thing, if you know what I mean.
It would be funny though, just for no reason.
Oh yeah, just no reason. Or if like let's see what the Sun Tzu said. What if Ibuki is revealed and he's chopped? Yo,
that's what I'm saying.
Now,
bro.
If he got a cockeyed, I'm gonna be really upset.
Look, Prince Blade speaking facts. He said he lost some aura with the beer belly. That's true, man.
Y'all are just young. Y'all are just young. Y'all don't get what aging does to you. I'm over 30. I could tell y'all, all of y'all are gonna get beer bellies if y'all don't already have one. Even if you don't drink beer, it's just gonna look like you drink a lot. You're just gonna have a little gut, a little pudge, and it's okay. We don't body shame around here. Ibuki is
Tiberius is crashing out.
I also tell myself this. I was kind of getting a dad bod, but I'm cutting the weight. Garu from One Punch Man, I'll take that.
Be like Natsuki.
No, please don't.
Stay locked in.
I'll instantly have to like get rid of my goat if he's just Natsuki. God damn it, I'm ancient. Go off, Unc. Here we go.
Ah,
Dang,
let
you're
him
messing
know,
with me.
Chad.
I'm just
No, you gotta support it. Look, Morpheus says he right. We unks have it rough. Shout out
Yeah. He
Morpheus.
said,
Shout
but
out
you
Junior
height
Morpheus.
shame. Hey, I'm only 5'9". I can talk about 5'5" motherfuckers because I'm not that much taller.
I'm fucking dead. But chat's calling you out, man.
I know, goddamn.
Prime Ibuki's gonna make Tiberius go, bro.
I did not hit the
Bro,
fucking go live button to get cooked like this.
Prince Blade, I'm gonna have to deal with that. Like, if Ibuki goes crazy in the war, like, I'm gonna have
y'all
to
better
listen to
hold
this
now.
dude.
24-hour stream, just Ibiki Glaze.
Oh man.
Yeah, y'all.
Oh man.
Boy, y'all. Every thumbnail is gonna have Ibiki in it from now on. Okay, Zony. Weird flex, but okay. Let's get you back to the room. I'm old. I'm old and I need sleep. Also, just everybody 6'1" in this motherfucker now? God
He said at 17 too. Couldn't be me.
Hey, but I'm married with a baddie, all right?
I'm fucking dead.
I'm about to start putting like real life flexes. Nah, y'all. Hey, y'all know what? Y'all ain't lying.
Go
y'all,
off, chat.
Y'all,
Go
yeah,
off, chat.
do your thing.
Let her know. All right, nah, but let's talk some 115.
I'm 5'9", fucking 9 to 5. Ooh, that's a Big Sean lyric.
Oh man!
Oh look, everybody in this motherfucker. So we just got the tallest fan base in the fucking world, apparently. God damn. About to start a basketball team in this bitch. See, Junior Morpheus.
Y'all got Ty crashing out. First bearer to hit Soga. Watch. Well, okay, so I'm glad we're.
Watch you tap out. Watch you be the first one to be like, you know what? I'm getting out. Samura, teleport me away.
Well, let's talk about this because I think we've entertained this in previous episodes in terms of, like, for example, Soga, Samura, and like them potentially sparring in their early days. We know that Ibuki was stated to be like on the level of Samura, at least was kind of like he had that same fame, right? So it would be cool to see like the top three, you know, kind of like sparring sessions between the top three, interactions between the top three, and seeing if it differs, kind of like with the other bearers, if at all, right? Like maybe there's nothing there, but I think if Ibuki really is like that, and you know, we know that Samura, we've seen enough from him. I think it would be very interesting and cool to see how like the dynamic was and what exactly separates Soga. You know, it would be cool if like in those interactions we see like Soga being the one, like the outlier, I guess, not just in terms of like sword skills, but like in terms of his mentality and how he interacts with those guys. We still don't really know exactly what kind of guy he was.
Yeah.
We've seen a little bit, right? We see that one time where Samura finds him kind of saving that one family, and his hand is also shaking. This is kind of left up to interpretation, but we don't really know exactly the kind of person Soga was. So it would be cool to see through those interactions how different he is from those guys, because I feel like he is very different from them.
And you know, it's also we'll have to see if Itsuo Shirakai pops in, because he did like brutally wound the Masaka brothers and like almost killed them twice. So like if we see that, we know that he trained Samura, so they already have that connection. So that's how like Samura, you know, seeing that moment of him doing that could be the moment of seeing like Ibuki perform and fight against Itsuo. You know, Itsuo like says, you know, almost kills him. Samura would be like, oh, Itsuo Shirakai did the same thing to me when he was training me, but you know, like Ibuki is about to, you know, just almost my level. It's right neck and neck. You know, like we could see that moment. I think would be real cool. You know, yeah. I wonder if Soga still looks wet in the flashback, because he always looks wet.
Oh,
let's see what chat says.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. What's good, Amity?
Yo, what's good, bro? And we got Rage in here. You eating Subaru sushi roll? Nah, fam. I don't know. Hey, look, if he's 5'5", I don't know.
Oh my god, here we go again.
Let's see. We always need more Samura. Not here.
Stop it.
Don't get me started as another one. Let's see. I have one theory that this arc is going to be
no.
peak. All right, Medea, you're cooking with that one. Let's see.
Let's hear it. Let's hear it. If he's down to share it, we can discuss it for sure.
What Rage say? I can guarantee Hokuzono will do a bonus chapter of a day where Uruha and Samura have to spend a day with baby Kiri taking care of her. You know, Nah, I'm just playing. I would read that.
Yeah, I could see it like as a volume extra or like exactly one of those recent chapter, Sojo type chapters. But you brought up Itsuo, and I think we know that Soga didn't like him. I think maybe we kind of knock all those birds with one stone, right? Like exactly, precisely how we've talked about like Hokuzono's pacing. I wouldn't be surprised if we get like this one chapter of and we see like both the Misaka brothers and Itsuo Shirikai and that interaction with Soga. I'm not sure if we'll see, the Misaka brothers getting their ass beat. It's definitely a possibility, and I think it would be very cool to see. It'd be funny if like Soga like walks in on that or something like that. But now I'm just saying shit, right? But I think it would be cool to see all of those guys interact. No, go ahead.
It's like I forgot to mention this. I was supposed to mention it at the top, but we actually have our Discord now. The link is
true.
The link is me and Dice, we suck at this, you know what I'm saying? But hey, that's why y'all are here. The fuck around gang, basically. But the link is in the description. It's also on our channel. Like if you go to our channel, it'll be at the top. So hop in. Everybody can join. Tell your mama, tell your daddy, everybody. We opened that up because we finally hit 500. We are waiting to get our review. Like we're getting reviewed right now for the final step of the monetization. So we'll have like we're gonna open up to like channel members and things like that. Probably in the next coming week or so. And me and Dice are debating right now like what member specific content we want to do for y'all. Just be on the lookout for those things. If you have any suggestions, slide in our DMs. Say, hey, big head, I got an idea.
Shout out Beatrice, appreciate it.
Yeah, Beatrice, you're good.
Really appreciate that.
W community member, always a positive person in the community. Because trust me, if someone's streaming Kagurabachi stuff, y'all know I'd be in there. I know I'd be seeing y'all in there, and I always see Beatrice and some others, always positive. So W.
Yeah, appreciate you guys. I put the Discord link in the chat for the server. I do recognize most of you guys already in here, are already in the server, but just in case the listeners and anybody who isn't there, it's in the chat. So appreciate you guys.
And it's not a basement zone. It's a studio apartment. Amity said, do you think we could see the Sazanami clan in this arc? I think if we see them, it'll more be like a reference about other clans. Like when we do see the Soga clan, we kind of get a bit about them. It may like do a kind of cut looking at other clans, you know what I mean? And we might see, a younger Kiora.
Yeah, I think like if we see it, it'll be like just in passing, really, maybe even mentioned. It would be cool if it's like mentioned by like a Soga clan member, and we could kind of see how again another clan kind of feels about the Sazanami, especially if the Soga clan is in we've talked about them having some sort of like political standing, working alongside the government, whatever that relationship looks like. It'd be very, very interesting to see them or how they feel about the Sazanami, because obviously the Sazanami has ran the Rakuzaichi and is one of the if not the prominent kind of like clan in the underworld. So I think if we do see them brought up, it would be in that sort of context, kind of like from the other side of the fence type of thing. I don't think we'll see like a young Kiora or anything like that. So yeah, I think we'll hear about them, I believe.
Now talking about Pinky, could she be
Yes.
Chiaki? It, I personally hope it isn't.
I don't
Uh,
see it right now.
yeah, I mean, I just
It's
personally don't want
Hogazono,
it.
so you never know, but
Like, I
go
can
ahead.
see the like it's not. I'm not saying it's impossible. You know what I mean? Because I could see like the logic to it of the fact of, you know, if she is Soga's sister, more than likely she is a gifted swordsman as well. And, you know, so like brother and sister come on and, you know, they become sword bearers. I could see that, but I kind of hope she isn't. I hope she's her own character with her own story, do her thing. Lucas, yeah, I went in there real quick, but then I got busy at work, so I had to dip out. And Cascade, yo, Rob, that's my guy. Shout out Shonen Showdown. I'm trying to get them, once he reads it, I'm trying to get him on an episode. But
Yeah, I don't see it right now, just for like multiple reasons. Prince Blade brings up like a very good point in terms of Chihiro supposedly knows about all the bearers except Soga was the only one who he didn't really know about. So I have a hard time seeing that either Kunishige told him about her without telling him that it was his mom, or told him it was his mom. You know, like both scenarios I really don't see. I'm not a big fan of the series right now. Again, it's Hokazono, and he can change things really quick. But also because of like the contract, like I don't know, I have a hard time thinking that Kunishige would put like a nuke in the hands of his own wife, the mother of his child. And the timing also doesn't line up. She'd be pregnant with Chihiro. So like
true.
I don't think any of it really
Yo, she
makes
might be a
sense.
dog, bro, out
Honestly.
there with a belly. Like, oh, that's why Chihiro's
Yeah,
so good,
honestly,
bro. He knows how to make the moves, and like he was feeling it.
imagine. He was in the battleground before stepping.
Yeah, that
Like,
boy is built different since a fetus.
uh, I just don't see it for like multiple reasons. You could argue like the contract will like, oh, it's her brother. Like I don't know. I'm not a fan of the theory, honestly. It's one of those theories that like surface level you kind of like stroke your chin bit, but like the moment you think about it for more than 2 minutes, it just kind of falls apart. At least given the information we have now. So
Yeah,
yeah,
true. And good point about the pregnancy thing. That is true because he was born like a month before the war ended.
yeah,
You know, and which,
yeah.
by the
It's just
way,
like,
that is like perfect timing. Like, because I gotta create. Oh, appreciate you, Beatrice. By the way, I gotta.
yeah. Thank you. Thanks for that.
We talked about like, you know, me and you briefly talked about this a bit about what if Soga wiped his own clan out, and it would line up with and like the baby thing, and that's like, you know, maybe there's something that the Soga clan did that, you know, he didn't agree with, and no one knows about it but Soga, you know, because they thought the Shikoku people did it, or the Shikoku warriors. You know, that like I said, I was talking about it in the server earlier. It's not a perfect theory, but it's plausible enough that would be like a big change. Because then, you know, when Samura tells Soga, you know, his last words are saying, Chihiro, you know, broke my curse. Chihiro's gonna break your curse too. But what he don't know is that Soga did that to his clan. That's why they're not around no more. And he chose like to like leave Chihiro alive. You know, maybe he got a soft heart on Chihiro or something, or that was the last bit of humanity that he had to, you know, in him to spare Chihiro, and maybe he had hope for him, so he left him alive. And it'll be, you know, kind of crazy that baby's the one that kills him in the end. You know, that I mean, I think that theory is unlikely though, but it's something that I think is at least plausible to warrant bringing up.
Yeah, yeah. Honestly, because we don't really know anything about the Soga clan, I feel like I obviously like I wouldn't count it out just because we don't really know anything about the Soga clan. Like we don't know what kind of people they were. You know, the minute we start finding out about them and how they behave, it's, you know, that's when we'll be able to really dissect if Soga would have necessarily had to have been in a position to do that. I don't think it's, you know, I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility. I don't think it's crazy. I don't think it's really that
It's just
out there.
you need to support it with a lot of headcanon.
For now, yeah, correct. But that's what I'm saying. Like the moment we start finding out about the Soga clan and what exactly they were up to, I mean, maybe
If
they weren't.
it's like
Go ahead.
the Sazanami, where we see like the clan dynamics through the Sazanami, and that like gives us a taste of like, yeah, the clan dynamics, or the dynamics of the individual clans are just toxic. So, they basically just say it's like a lot of corrupt things going on, a lot like the Sazanami, but they're just on the more right side of the law, but they still have their hands in like, dirty shit. And
Well,
Soga
that's
get his absolute justice. I could see him like snapping when he finds out, and him snapping is more like his absolute justice just throttles, and he's like he can't he looks past relationships.
Well, that's exactly what I was about to get into. Like, we also know that the Kiyonagi clan was wiped out, and we found that out very early in the story, and like that hasn't really been addressed again. Granted, it hasn't been relevant to the plot in a this whole time, so I'm not really trying to say anything there. But I do think it's interesting the possibility of those links. If the Soga clan was wiped out, especially if it was wiped out by Soga, it'd be interesting to entertain there being a connection between the wiping out of both the Soga clan potentially and what happened to the Kiyonagi clan. And again, if we look at what we've seen from the Sazanami and how Soga is very quick to paint everyone with the same brush, I do wonder if he wiped out multiple clans. Granted, why wouldn't he have wiped out the Sazanami? That's like a big hole in this whole thing, at least in the theory that I'm presenting here. But again, it was times of war. We don't know what he had time to do or what exactly he was trying to do. Um, so yeah, I don't know. I'm interested to see if there's any sort of connection between the Kiyonagi clan and just these clans in general, right?
Yeah,
I do want to address.
how deep we're gonna go in the clans is a big question.
Yeah, and I'll kind of use this to segue into something Amity had said. I think this arc we're gonna see how the Kamunabi was formed because that was the outcome after the war. Exactly. I think that's one of those for sure things that we should, in theory, see explored this arc. Mainly because we know about the counter sorcery army. We know there's this sorcery bureau we found about last chapter. And we've heard about like how the Kamunabi was created post-war. We saw the treaty signing. The guy in the middle we still haven't really met. The guy in the mustache who seems to be the same guy that was also kind of like talking about how Soga was deluded. I do want to shout out Tagger from Twitter. I'm forgetting what their @ is, but I think they've theorized about that potentially being the Soga clan head. Which I think is very, very interesting because again, if it supports this idea that the Soga clan is very much kind of like in the middle of government operations, and if they were running shit, and again they were willing to sign the treaty and all that, then you can start kind of like connecting the dots of why Soga said these guys gotta go too. Again, it's a big leap because that's his own family that we're talking about. And like Prince Blade says earlier, I do think Chiaki is dead. I don't think Soga killed her. I think it's more likely that Soga, in a fit of rage, avenged her, if anything. But I'm just completely speculating, really. But I just want to say that I do think we're gonna see the formation of the Kamunabi, and if we find out about the clans, I think those things can kind of go hand in hand, right? Because as soon as the war ends, we know that these clans kind of like go crazy in the underworld. So I do wonder if we're going to learn a little bit about them and what they were doing throughout, in this kind of like process of the war coming about, and how like everything is up for grabs afterwards. The Kamunabi definitely had to be there, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they weren't because we saw what happened with Yura, right? But again, it's all like very interesting to entertain because everything is connected. It is. It's all about like whether Hokuzono wants to flesh it out in that way.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, anything is like, because we definitely just need to see the Soga clan, how they move. What's their operation? What do they actually mean? Like, I mean, I can sit here and ramble off theories all day about possibilities with like Soga. Like I even talked to Dice one time about what if the Soga clan actually was the original like people who looked over sorcery, and then they get wiped out some way, and then that's what makes or influences like the counter sorcery army to take over and become the Kamunabi to do kind of everything. But, I mean, there's so many things that we just don't know. Like Hiyuki, yeah, Hiyuki's young, so we won't see Hiyuki. Now there is one child that I would like to see during the war. Pause. No Diddy, I should
You
say.
don't gotta. My God, you don't gotta, bro. Relax. Jesus Christ.
But you gotta say no Diddy. But Sojo, seeing him and like Rage mentioned, seeing that moment like happen in real time in the flashback of him, like amongst the flowers with all the bodies. Oh, and I do like the Magatsumi being forged. I would love to have this moment with Kunishige where he's like making the sword, and with every like strike, Kunishige is like, "Damn, like something's wrong with this blade. I can't get, I can't contain everything," or he's like struggling with like the conception of it, or just saying like, "Oh, this is like a dark sword." Like him already feeling like the weight of it, and and we know they say like Soga Akamura was his right hand man. So seeing how that comes into play, I mean, now we know that he knew Chiaki before he went to go be a swordsmith or trained to be a swordsmith. So more than likely he also knew Akimura when he was a child. So that's gonna be. I want to see that meeting, like how they got real cool,
Yeah. No, I definitely agree with that. I definitely agree with that. And yeah, I also expect to get some answers in regards to Sojo. I don't think it'll necessarily be like very big, or something that we spend too much time on in this arc, but I definitely think it's gonna be one of those things where Hokuzono knows fans are kind of like waiting for that connection, and I think we'll definitely get that reference and just get the context of what it is. We'll probably see that panel from another perspective or something along those lines. But yeah, definitely.
And that's a good point. How much is Hokuzono going to show us with Soga? Because the truth is, we still have an entire story to go when we get back to the present time. And Soga, I don't see him having a lot of characterization in the present time, but we have to have something. We need to see we just need like his like beginnings right now, and then like let that kind of recontextualize like his present time actions. Like I want to see him, I don't want him just to end up like Muzan, where he's just like an immovable object, a figure in the world. You know what I mean? I want to see Akimura Soga be a character in the world. And I feel like, if he just dumps everything about Soga right now on us, that then I just feel like that's less things in the present time to like kind of give him more characterization on. I want there to be a secret that only Soga knows. Like, we're seeing the flashback through Shiba's like perspective. So if Soga has this secret that no one knows about, it would be huge for that to come into play at the end game, and it would change everyone's like perception of the war, or Soga, or Kunishige, whatever it may be.
I think that last thing that you just said. I definitely see, especially when it comes to Soga. I don't know about the war. I think in terms of the war and what leads up to it, I think we're gonna find that out here. But I was just really thinking about this, and in terms of like timeline, I hadn't really connected. We know that Chihiro is born a couple of months after the war.
He was born 1 month before the war ended.
Oh, before the okay. So it was before. Yeah, that's true. I completely flipped that right now. And I was about to say, like, if it was after, then never mind. Forget about what I was gonna say, because it was a month before, not after. So yeah, that just completely dismantles what I was about to bring up. So no worries about that. There was something someone in chat had brought up that I wanted to address. Oh, we talked a bit about this, the forging of Magatsumi, and potentially that experience being way different from the other enchanted blades. I definitely think that's the case. Again, we've talked about this before, and I do think that's something that we'll see. um so yeah, I just wanted to address that.
You know, and we also have like the mystery of like Shikoku itself, right? You know, did it come with like the barrier that's stopping them from being able to get close to the island? So that there's two things that could be happening here. That barrier could also, you know, work as like a cloaking device. You know, they use Datanseki for their kind of to sustain their life in the island. And that's why they finally showed themselves. Maybe they were running low on the natural resource, you know, running low on Datanseki, so they had to kind of influence another island to like start being able to harvest it. Or that barrier just kind of kept them hidden. Or that barrier also kind of houses like their ecosystem. So they go underwater, and that barrier still allows them to maintain their forms and like look, you know, be humanoid and breathe, whatever it may be. You know, that's a big mystery. Like Shikoku, I mean, obviously Soga has like a spatial slash, so you can say, oh look, an invisible barrier, fuck it, strong slash. Shiba can teleport in there.
Strong slash.
Yes, and you know, we kind of talked about this, like what happens when they run low on the Datanseki for crafting the enchanted blades, or that Kunishige just tells him straight up, yo, if you want me to craft these swords, this is how much I need. And then that's when they kind of like they put together a mission with Shiba, Mashiro, and maybe we see like the sword bearer. Maybe one of the sword bearers goes to help out before they become a sword bearer. And then they basically teleport in, they get the Datanseki, and then they teleport out. You know, like I want to see what happens when they need more of the raw material to make these EBs. Because we know like they don't have a lot on hand right now, or they should, or presumably I should say.
Yeah, we don't really
Yeah, we
know
don't
exactly
know
how much. Before we get too carried away with that, like Chad has been having a pretty interesting conversation, so I just want to go back and kind of highlight some of
they're talking about Ibuki.
some of the chat. Oh hell,
I'm
no.
just playing.
That's exactly why it's gonna.
Oh, wait, hey,
No, so
someone subscribe, Miss Margaret. How you doing? Thank you for the sub.
I appreciate.
I hope you get good sleep tonight.
So D the Man says, I see the theory that Chihiro as a baby was kidnapped after the peace treaty by rogue islanders trying to use him as ransom. That was a lesson Soga was taught. No mercy to the enemy. Yeah, I think I've seen that theory floating around a bit. Definitely plausible. Definitely makes sense, right? Fits right in with in terms of the context that we see in that panel and kind of like Soga's thoughts. What do you think, Tiberius?
Chihiro being kidnapped as a baby, like rogue, like I could see like the rogue islanders thing kind of playing a part. You know, that they don't all agree. They like the force of Shikoku, they don't, you know, all agree on doing the treaty. So there will be some that kind of splinter off for their own, you know, their own like proclivities. And that, so I could see them going and like, you know, causing some problems. And if they kidnap Chihiro, you know, I wouldn't be, I think that's okay. Like I'd be cool with that. I think it would definitely be like interesting to see Soga like go with like an objective. You know what I mean? Like really lock in with a one goal in mind. That I want to see that moment.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like it makes sense. I personally, I would expect something a bit more. I don't know really how to like explain it, but I think that would be fair.
It's
like,
plausible. I wouldn't hate it, but I prefer something else, personally.
Yeah, agreed. I do want to, because I saw again some, you know, I think this was also said by D the Man, and I've seen I think Prince Blades also brought it up a bit earlier. I think this is like good for the discussion. I've seen a lot of debate surrounding this whole thing. And this is one of the few points we haven't really gotten into. Is Chiaki dead present day?
Push me to the edge. Chiaki's really dead. Push me to the edge.
What do we think? Because I'll just go out and say it. I think she is. I know a certain group of people who might not, want to hear that. But I think it's very likely she is. And it's also just as likely that she's in hiding, something along those lines.
The allegations.
But the reason I'm bringing it up is because, like, I think there's a very clear reason why, like, Chihiro doesn't even address, like, like, she's just been completely out of this whole thing. I see, okay, Rage or yeah, Mark has Cade, yes. Master Cylinder, yes. Zoni, I think she probably is. Yeah, there's no way she's still alive. Like, Chihiro doesn't know her at all. Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's she's just been completely kept in the dark in terms of, or at least we've been completely kept in the dark, as well as, like, Chihiro. Just like, there's just been no mention about her. And so, like, I have a really hard time seeing her alive, unless she's like in hiding.
Yeah,
like
true. No, that's a good point. But like, what Prince's question was, if she was still alive, like, Chihiro doesn't know her at all. That's what Cascade said. And then Prince said, if she was alive, why haven't we seen any Chihiro interaction? There's one good answer for that question. It's because she's a female Toji. She's a deadbeat.
No, stop it. He does. I'm sorry. I'll like just to, or go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, you're good, bro. Cook. You do your thing.
I just, because he says, Prince Blade also says in the second half of that chat, why would she be in hiding? And I'm just saying shit, really, like, just the potential. I'm just kind of keeping the door open. If she's alive, then I'm trying to kind of like answer why we haven't seen her, and it makes sense that she'd be in hiding. And why would she be in hiding? Well, again, we don't know anything about the Soga clan. What if she was forced into hiding with whatever went down with the Soga clan?
Crackpot theory.
Right? Again, super crackpot theory. I think she's dead, right? Like, I definitely think she's dead.
Bigger crackpot theory.
But
her and the rest of Soga clan are on Shikoku currently, and it's sealed away. That's their punishment for creating Akamura.
Now you just saying shit.
Yeah, that ass. I just pulled that out my ass. I had to stand up for that one.
She's in hell though. If that's the case. Like.
Lucas said, "What would that more be? Because my biggest fear." Oh, okay, I had a stroke reading that. My biggest fear for this arc is that Soga's reason for crashing out will be too one-dimensional, like Revenge or Chiaki. Yeah, Revenge for Chiaki. Excuse me. Yeah, Lucas, I kind of agree with you. Like, I do want it to be something a little bit deeper. I don't want this though, cause I don't want this allegations to Hokuzono keep mounting, and like, oh, is your fridge running? Like one of those types of thing.
I could care less about that, honestly. Sorry, not sorry.
Oh wait, hold on one sec. Dice entertain the people.
Gotcha.
Sing that song. Sing that song you like.
Get out of here. Let's catch up with chat. I hope we can see an Islander character POV for this arc, a possible survivor of the war and malediction, seeing them in the present time and their thoughts on Kunishige. Yeah, Islander POV would be super dope. I'm not sure how I feel about, like, I definitely would be down to see that. It just depends on how, again, like we talked about, how deep are we going to get into like this arc, this war stuff, and we already have characters on our side that we got to explore. I personally think when it comes to the Islanders, I think it's more likely that we at most get characterizations to some of like the villains. I think I've called them like warlords. I've seen other people call them like mini bosses that we're gonna see like the sword bearers take down, right? Kind of like jobbers, basically, to hype up the enchanted blade bearers. Tiberius said one can have like the Datanseki grill, so I think it's more likely
grill. Ooh, I'm telling you.
Yeah, I just think it's more likely we see something along those lines.
My man's gonna have Datanseki, Air Jordan 1s. You know what I mean?
Chained up, yeah. I think that's more likely though.
Yeah, I mean, I do think Chiaki is a dead. you know, like she would obviously, that means she died at the end of the war. We know the malediction happened after the treaty was signed. Chihiro was born a month before the war ended. The fact that Soga's the one who did it, his sister gave birth to the main character. The treaty happened, then the malediction happened. So Chihiro was already born when that event happened. So the timeline just kind of points to Chiaki being a catalyst for, you know, something, you know, or especially with that panel of Chihiro as a baby with Soga. It like just kind of points to that the reasoning is going to involve Chiaki for the malediction.
Yeah, I agree. I think everything points. It's easier right now to deduce that she's dead rather than like trying to do these mental gymnastics of like, well, she could be alive, and like I said, she's in hiding. You know, like right now, given the information we're presented with, it just makes sense that she's entirely out of the picture.
Yeah, I agree. Like, just let her be like a good, like, we see her as this like good person, you know, logical, moral, strong morals, you know, basically like what we see in Chihiro, you know what I mean? And, you know, like she was there all the way through, did her thing, and, you know, she, you know, gave up her life to save Chihiro. That is probably most likely the case. I know people are going to hate that, you know, like the fridging thing, the allegations, but like, you know, Lucas kind of brought up, he, you know, wants something a bit not one dimensional, and that is a very like, you know, overused motivation. But I mean, execution does matter. So like, even if it's a plot reveal that you might not be big on, I say just keep your mind open to it, because the execution of it might sweep you off your feet. You know, that's why you gotta have an open mind. Rage said we need a Hishaku Hideout exclusive soundboard. What kind of sounds you want to put on that thing?
Oh, don't start.
Oh my god, it's just gonna be Sip the Tip. Talking about
Shiba
EVP,
slander.
yeah, Shiba slander. Probably half the board will be Shiba slander. Talking about suburban cat litter.
Gabriel is asking, did the Kyonagi massacre happen before or after the war?
I believe after.
Or is it not specified? We're frauds because I don't remember if it's really specified. I believe.
Don't put me in with you. He's a we're frauds, bro. Damn, he's like, yo, we're.
I lean towards it being after the war, or
I'm 90% sure it's after.
Yeah, I don't remember, and it would kind of take me a minute to just. I mean, I guess I can pull up the chapter for a second and watch out.
Blazing Ibuki, always Prince.
Yeah, Prince Blade also says Chiaki's death alone isn't enough for Soga to be a typical revenge villain. He is currently declaring war with the country to purge all evil. He is literally just a corrupt hero. Yeah, and then earlier you brought up how Soga is really just like an extreme foil to Chihiro, really like just basically the same ideals, just one drag the slider all the way up and said I won't discriminate, anybody can catch this blade. I definitely don't think Chiaki's death, it's kind of like Tiberius said, like don't be surprised if Chiaki's death is what pushed him over the edge after already seeing countless of his own people, like bodies just across the battlefield, seeing how ruthless the Shikoku invaders were. I can definitely see a situation where like the war weighed on him heavily, and his death is the one thing that pushed him over the edge. I don't think that's crazy to say.
Real quick, the Kuonagi clan got wiped out after the war.
Okay, good stuff. So you're not a fraud. I apologize. I'm the fraud.
Yeah, and that's right. Tuesdays is Ibuki Glaze and the Hishaku Hideout.
Fuck no.
Bring your baby oil. Damn, it got quiet.
But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Chiaki's death is what pushed him over the edge, or if it was just one of a dozen, reasons. I think that's just as likely. This guy definitely witnessed a lot in the war, and again, we don't really know what kind of guy he was even before kind of going to war. What if Soga was the type of guy that was just unfit to go to war in the first place, bro? Like,
You
You
know,
know?
Yu Yu Hakusho,
Um,
there's a character named Sensui, Shinobu Sensui, and he was like the
okay.
first spirit detective, and he's like a dog. Or he's not the, excuse me, he wasn't the first spirit detective, he's the spirit detective before Yusuke. And basically he had such a strong sense of justice that he saw like humans, like rich humans, doing these like unspeakable things and torturing these demons and just being like basically for their own like pleasure, being very evil. And like just that sight of seeing humanity, or humanity's darkest like aspect, it flipped him, and he believed that like humans are, you know, basically are the same as those demons. So, you know, he wants to open up the demon gate to like Earth for that reason. Like he views humans like equal, like as demons now. And, you know, maybe it's like something where Soga has this like strong sense of justice, and he sees something during the war. And, you know, like we know he did change during the war, you know, like you were talking about. um you know, we don't know what he was like. He might have been like, he might have been timid, but the clan that he's in, they're maybe it's a warrior clan. They expect him, the, you know, son of the son of the Soga clan. You know, they say Princess Soga. Well, Prince Soga has to be a dog with the sword. But if that's not what he wants to do, and he's been indoctrinated to where he has to be that way, you know, and he just kind of got all that, just too much pressure for one young man to deal with. And war is heavy on everybody. And
Yeah.
he was young when he went into war. You know, he wasn't like Uraha young, but he was young.
Yeah, and I see that's what a Master Cylinder as well is talking about. Like there needs to be more than just Soga is upset because she died. Yeah, I mean, I think we're definitely gonna get that, right. Like again, we're talking about war here. This is the sword saint we're talking about, the guy who overturned, you know, when the war was at a stalemate. For all we know, he was definitely like in the trenches way before getting his hands on Magatsumi. Like think about it, he might have been fighting alongside sword bearers, and he was the only one wielding a normal sword. He was just that good. I definitely like. I definitely expect to see like Soga seeing bodies on top of bodies,
Yeah.
and us seeing what that did to his psyche.
And like we know Samura's a good dude. Like Samura's not a bad person. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Everything he did with a like noble cause in mind. He even like had he set up, you know, like sure he was still like killing people, but it's, you know, like it's hard to say like we can forgive him for like siding with the Hishaku, you know what I mean? But like the thing is, the man made amends. If Chihiro ain't sweating him, why should we sweat him for it? That's how I look at it. But Samura says he changed during the war, so that has like he wasn't this like, or I mean maybe he was putting up a front. You know, like Cascade says, I get the feeling he's been raised that way. That is possible, and maybe he was starting to soften up a bit with Kunishige and like hanging out with them before like getting ready for
I
the
can see
war,
that.
and then
Yeah.
the war just kind of brought him back, kind of snapped back to reality. Oh, there goes gravity. Oh, there goes.
Yeah, I think we're honestly gonna see some variation that includes different elements of you know, all these things that I brought up, you've brought up, Chad has brought up. I do think we're all in the same ballpark. Really, it's just kind of like we're really nitpicking at what exactly was it that kind of like sparked, like you said, Soga during the war, who he was at, you know, before. But again, knowing the context that we have, knowing what we know about like clans, the culture, the traditions, we already have a picture. We have a picture, right? And it's just about like we've already talked about getting those details. But I think that we're gonna see that we're all pretty much on the money, really.
I can't lie. My
Yeah.
bad, bro. You go ahead. I was cutting you off.
No, like I said, I think we're gonna see like different elements that we've all kind of brought up. We'll see some sort of variation that includes like different parts of our respective theories. Really,
Yeah,
I just think
mismatch.
we're all, yeah, we're all here.
Yeah, I mean, I ain't gonna lie to you. I wish we could have saw Shiba and Soga interact a bit. Like now that we know he was like the Soga clan guardian, and Shiba has to have a part to play in like Soga's turn. I feel like it would make sense him being the guardian. He can teleport, so he can get around places easier. So it makes sense for us to follow him. like, as our perspective through the war. And I really want to see his dynamic with Soga. Oh, and D the Man did bring up the Kagurabachi anime got leaked, so it looks like Side Games is like gonna do it. We should be getting an announcement soon. Gas.
Yeah, I think. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just hyping it up.
Yeah, I think it's cool, even though like nothing is official yet. But like just seeing that, it seems like we could really, we can really trust, what we saw. Then it's good to get some sort of confirmation that the Side Games things isn't just rumors. Even though like the rumors have been running around for a while, and a lot of people were kind of just taking it as certain. I think it was like important to remember that it was just a rumor. But seeing this now kind of like, I think, makes a lot of us happy, because not only do we know for sure that Side Games is working on it, but then we can really connect the dots and deduce that it has been worked on for some time now. We shouldn't probably expect an announcement for a couple of months, maybe even a year. I obviously have no idea. I don't expect it anytime soon exactly. And even then, if we get it in the next couple of months, we'll probably have to wait, like you said, Tiberius, another year.
Let it cook.
We're hyping it. Yeah, and it looks like they've been cooking, and I rather kind of let them take their time. So.
And well, hold on. I had to scroll up and look at this one. I had my eye on this message.
Sun Tzu, right? Sun Tzu.
Sun Tzu. Do y'all think we're gonna get a chapter of Kunishige putting Chiaki in a Boston crab and creating his true masterpiece Chihiro or not? I don't think this the right magazine for that. But yo, I guarantee you that's as soon as they show what she looks like, they got fan art of that.
Oh, no.
That's the way the internet works. Oh, and Amity said, I think, as I mentioned before, I could see Soga be like Eren from Attack on Titan. Eren Yeager.
I can see some influence, and I don't know if influence, but I can definitely draw some similarities. Yeah, I can see a bit of that for sure. I love this community, by the way, Sun Tzu. You're the go for that.
But when I say shit like that, you be telling me stop.
No, yeah. It's like that one meme. Oh man. Let me stop.
What's good, Weeb?
Let me stop. Hey, shout out Weeb.
Yeah, he's gonna really unsheath that thing, the meat saber.
Weeb, someone just asked that, bro.
It's an enchanted blade that can make babies. That's the meat saber, boy.
Oh my god, crazy, man. Someone just asked that.
Bunch of degenerates in the chat, bro.
Weeb of all people as well.
Oh, Weeb is wild. Don't. Me and him are dads, so we got that dad humor,
Oh man.
But,
man, that's funny.
The anime though, like I said, let it cook. Side games. It is. We could trust them. There's definitely like other studios that would be cool too, but like they'll take care of it. I mean, I didn't watch the summer Hikaru died, but I heard good things. I don't watch Musume, but I know like that's like a Sakuga fest. Like there's tons of fire animation in Musume.
I think the same with the summer that Hikaru died as well. From what I've seen, I haven't watched it either, but every shot I've seen, like every bit of animation is just crazy. So I think it's in good hands, and if they're taking their time cooking, hey man, let them, because it's definitely gonna be worth it, I believe.
Shikagura's on my bachi till I enchant my blade.
Oh my god. Prince Blade has been talking about for a minute how Kunishige and Soga are, he says here, they were brothers, like being his most trusted ally while Azami and Shiba exist. No, that's we're definitely gonna have to see that, right? And that statement, we have to. I really hope Hokuzono kind of like delivers in terms of making that statement make sense, because we've already seen like what that a bit of. Even though we haven't seen a lot of their interactions, we saw how Azami, was fighting for Kunishige most recently. We've seen how, that the dynamic with Shiba. So I definitely think that the dynamic with Soga has some big shoes to fill. I definitely believe that it has to kind of live up to what we've heard. And him just being the brother-in-law isn't it. So yeah, it's especially if, like Tiberius said, if they knew each other since they were kids, maybe they became actually tight now leading up to war. Maybe that's kind of like what forged this camaraderie between them. um you know I definitely think Kogazono has to deliver on that front. We have to see what that's about.
Imagine like Kunishige and Akimura were like rivals as kids. You know what I mean? They always like button heads and shit. But now that like they both grew up, they kind of like, and they're because it's a war effort, right? So Japan has to come together. All these sorcerers have to come together, and we know some crooked ass people took place in the war to fight for Japan, because that's wartime. That's what you got to do. You have to like send out everybody you possibly can. And like we saw the minions that were like trying to get the money from Sojo for like Char, kidnapping Char, like was it chapter like 6 or some shit, 8 or 9, I was somewhere around there. So like we know like those assholes took place in the war, and those were like probably the same type of sorcerers that like terrorized the areas on the outskirts close to the war-torn areas, like what happened with Yura. So I literally, I don't know where I was going with that.
No, it's all good. I had one more thing to say in regards to that. This just kind of like, I just thought of this as well, but I think it would be very cool to see, and maybe that's kind of like part of what we're talking about, right? Kind of like them, them bonding over something like what I'm about to say, but like Kunishige forging his, like forging his first sword for Soga. Right, like I can imagine, especially with Soga, given what we know about him, that could be like a pretty touching moment. Soga kind of like wielding a blade for the first time that like Kunishige forged for him, and like that difference, and that sort of like having to do a lot with the connection in that moment specifically, and what kind of continues to build that trust. I think that would be a pretty cool moment. I don't know why I just thought of that really, but I think it could be like a pretty cool moment that works towards what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Because it's the best swordsmith and the best sword wielder. So I think we'll get something.
And
there.
Then Kunishige caress Akamura's face and he says, "I just cracked your sister. Here's a sword."
Oh my god.
He's like, "Bro, you got my sister. You knocked my sister up. You can at least give me an enchanted blade." And Kunishige is like, "All right, fine. I'll make one more."
Oh
so,
shit.
Yeah, and that's what happened, because it's all Chihiro's fault, bro. Damn.
Famous last words.
Karasu was good, bro. We stream damn near every Wednesday. I do 2 things I want to talk about before we have to wrap up here. The first thing is, I think with the Kagurabachi anime, the most important thing is going to be like the choreography. Nailing that choreography, like someone mentioned the Sojo fight. D the man talked about the 12-second fight. A lot of that's going to be snappy, like quick cuts of their discussion, but the choreography has to like fucking hit. You know what I mean? It has to just have, it has to feel like Hokuzono for this to really be a perfect adaptation. And Dice, I'll get your opinion on what you think or how you feel about the anime. And the last thing, I told D the man will briefly just talk about the Chainsaw Man chapter real quick.
Oh yeah. Ty, don't worry. I think there's 2 things more I want to talk a bit about before we get out of here. So I think we can move for a couple more minutes.
I don't want to hold you up or anything.
No.
Me
it's
and
cool.
Dice gotta go take a bath together. I'm just playing.
I hate you, man.
We live in different countries, but we on FaceTime. We do FaceTime each other sometimes. But you know what? I don't know what Dice looks like, so when we FaceTime, he turns around like Ibuki on me.
Yeah, I do my best Ibuki impression. Oh damn! What the hell? Oh, you before we got it, you asked me. Oh, the anime. Yeah. This is a bit tough because I do agree 100% with what you said about the choreography, and there is a style to how Hokuzono presents his action, especially when it comes to like the movement of swords and how characters moves as well. And if the anime can somehow translate that, I'm not saying 1-to-1, but in a unique way where it's not just your average swords fight or just like any animated swords fight, but they find a way to replicate Hokazono's choreography, which is I think it's basically what you were saying, right?
Yeah.
But just to kind of like emphasize that point, like that's it for me. Because yeah, we can talk about the Sakuga, we can talk about like, everything looking pretty. We can talk about the cinematic shots, the fisheye lens. Obviously, like I do believe that the anime is going to be very on point with that. But the harder I think the harder thing is what we're talking about, the choreography. Can they translate Hokazono's presentation and choreography specifically in a way that feels like it's paying respect or is faithful. Faithful is the right word. Again, I don't even know what exactly it would look like, right? But if they can somehow cook that up, man, it's really what I think would make the action in Kagurabachi is anime like peak.
A big thing is like the weight of the moment. Chihiro's not a main character that we see grow like through the adversity in real time. Like we find out that he's already learned things and he's already accepted them and he's like resolved himself, right? The 200,000 lives law of Shikoku. Like we don't get to see him learn that. So, but a lot of his growth is his like as he synchronizes with Enten. He thinks back all his past experiences. There's all like think about in the Sojo arc when he first like does the True Realm Kuro Shred. It's like those things, like he just thinks that it's those moments, the weight of that moment has to really like be there. And Zoni, I think you said you were 17 earlier. Bro was trying to get us on a list.
What the fuck? So yeah. Fuck out of here, Zoni. I'm just kidding.
Like that the actual art style is one thing, but like the weight of the moment, it's like that has to do with like sound design, background of animation. It's a lot of
that's
stuff.
Production quality, basically.
Yeah, exactly. It's like it's a good director. That's what they need. Yeah, Kagurabachi is like Ichi the Witch and Kagurabachi are like the new pillars of Shonen Jump.
Even the saving grace, you could call it almost.
Yeah. Like One Piece is gonna be there. One Piece is just One Piece. But like they've been looking for like some new series to kind of get their footing, and they have that now with Ichi the Witch and Kagurabachi. I mean the magazine is still pretty weak compared to like previous iterations, but yeah, I do like Fire Force sound design. Like when Benimaru hits his like that reverb.
Yeah,
hits.
I haven't watched it, but the clips I've seen sounds crazy.
Yeah.
I think I know the scene you're talking about as well. I've seen specific clips like glazing the sound design.
Big Poe. What's good, Poe?
What's good, Poe? So you brought up the Chainsaw Man chapter.
Yeah. So look. Spoilers for Chainsaw Man. Yeah, we're gonna before we get off, we're gonna talk about Chainsaw Man real quick in the final chapter. If you haven't seen it or haven't read it, you might want to dip.
Well, no, I was gonna say we could do this because, like I said, there's two more things in regards to like the next couple of chapters or what we're gonna see in this arc. I just kind of want to run through before we get out of here. So I was gonna tell you, Tiberius, and as well as chat. Let's see what they think and what you think as well. But we could kind of like talk a bit about Chainsaw Man, and for the people that don't want it spoiled, what you can do is change the animation background once we're done talking. So maybe they can kind of like mute it for a bit. Once you change the animation background, they can kind of turn it back on. Does that sound cool?
Yeah, but I'm gonna start changing that bitch like 30 times right now. Every second.
What do you mean?
Just to fuck with him.
I'll
leave Soga's wet little soggy ass on the screen. And I'll change it to the Hishaku flag. I'll put Hirohiko or the Hishaku flag on.
All right, so yeah, just last spoiler warning for Chainsaw Man. We're only gonna talk about it for a couple of minutes. So yeah, you've been warned.
All right. So Chainsaw Man, right? Isn't it peak, bro? It's like a 10 out of 10 manga.
Yeah, well, let me keep this short and sweet, right?
Let me stop. That thing cheats. We have a homie that loves it too. Jello, I love you, brother. Your favorite series is going down bad.
Appreciate you, Gabriel. Appreciate you, brother. Thanks for pulling up. You have
Yeah,
a good
Gabriel,
sleep.
have a good night. I'll see you in your dreams.
That's a threat. Yeah, part two was literally worthless. Yeah, people have strong opinions. I don't, just me personally, because I was so on and off in reading Chainsaw Man. I dropped it for like a lot of weeks and then kind of like binge and caught up. Part one I really 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 enjoyed. I think most agree that part one was damn near peak, if not just straight up peak. But I read
Masterpiece.
part one. Yeah, I binge read it, man. Like I have to say, like I wasn't there weekly. I binge read it when it had already ended. And I want to give part two the same treatment. That's just me, right? Like this is a chapter to a weekly series, as I like to say, and I think it's definitely fair to factor in the weekly experience when rating these kind of series because they're weekly series, so it only makes sense to. But just in terms of what I take away from the story, the writing, if it was worthless or not, the messaging, just whatever. Before I kind of like go crazy, I do want to reread it, like a binge read it, but right now I definitely don't like this just having one more chapter. I think it's very jarring. Um, we knew that Denji or Chainsaw Man and Yoru were fighting, but I don't think I'm alone in saying that it never really felt like this was the last fight. It never felt like a final showdown type of thing. Um, and so at this point, I just think we got to get a part three. I think if we don't, I'm sure that this last chapter will be like sentimental and heartfelt, but I think it will be a shame. And Fujimoto will have like, definitely like dropped the ball if this is just it. Like, it doesn't matter how good the last chapter is. People talked about like Gege fumbling endings. Like, whew, Fuji like definitely trying to give him a run for his money if this is the case.
Yeah.
I just really think we get hoping as well we get a part three.
I personally like, okay, so the way I look at part two, right? If you look at part two, like the overview of it, like everything that happened, like from start to finish, I think it isn't bad. Like I give it a 7 out of 10 right now. And I'm pretty confident it's gonna finish at a 7 out of 10. Like I can see why. Like I think that the even though I say like the overall, like the bird, if you take a bird's eye view of this story, like the roadmap to get to the end has been bumpy. It's just not.
Hella bumpy.
Yeah, like the
Yeah.
execution ain't there. Like not last October, but the October before, the release schedule was bad. He was dropping like 12-page chapters while waiting 2-3 weeks for a chapter, and then like go on another break. Like that does contribute. Like it's just like you get fatigued after a while. I felt fatigued reading Chainsaw Man. I don't like how Nayuta was done. I thought she was like one of the best characters or had
Oh yeah,
potential.
dude. Yeah, agreed.
Like the Blood Devil thing is still and I mean of course there is one chapter. I don't want to be like, oh, it's but there's like I was saying in
It's too much
a
for one
private
chapter.
DM I got with Dice and Jello. I told them like Chainsaw Man, like the final chapter, part two, would need 100 pages, and it still might not be enough. That's how it feels,
No, I agreed. It's just way too much. And not even like counting, like you said, the blood devil stuff. It just characters like Fumiko, like I'm not saying that every character should get like this crazy conclusion, but like Asa, like it's not just Denji we're talking about here.
She
Who like if
disappeared.
this really, yeah, I
She's
mean,
Megami.
yeah, yeah. Oh, power, you mean?
Yeah, she like the big bad took over their body, and they were never to be heard from
Oh,
again.
Asa. Yeah, so like it's
Oh,
not just
Asa.
Denji who Fujimoto would be possibly fumbling here, but it's also Asa. That's why I think like part three is almost like necessary at this point because like Denji just being like this tragic character that like just never developed, which like I think look, I know a lot of people have like opinions on Denji and his character development. I've always taken like his character for what it is. Like it clearly makes sense why he behaves the way he behaves, and nothing ever happened in the story to, I mean, a lot of things happened to him, but like you also understand why he never really changed.
I mean, the man did get he did get his hangdang played with in an alleyway.
Yeah, like
What
it
other
always every
MC
time
got that?
with Denji, it just feels like every time we took one step forward, we then took two steps back,
Yeah,
and
good
like
point.
that's fine and all if it's like building towards something, but if there's no part three, then like this something we were building towards is really just really nothing, and just like, well, Denji's life sucked, didn't it? And
Bro,
Pochita also ended up leaving
Pochita
him.
looked
So
this man in the face and said, "Bro, you don't want pussy. You don't want it. Don't worry about it.
yeah,
You're
just
happier being in the gutter. I know
and
you
I
think you want it, but trust me, you think it's awesome. Yeah, and it's all right. You don't need it. It's crazy."
and I agree with you on like the Nayuta point as well. Like regardless whether she was ever gonna come back or not, or she, like I think her character was done dirty, and if this is the end, like it just feels like it was all just like, yeah, as you can tell, like I have a bit of trouble kind of gathering my thoughts because I haven't really enjoyed it. If this is it, and like what you said about Asa, you brought up a great point, and it just kind of like hit me. But I also told you like she's her own character. She's not just there for Danji's character, and if like this is it, then I feel like her character would also be like Fujimoto would also be dropping the ball with her character, because I think like I have a lot of stock in her character and what she was gonna
Oof.
do, and like her potentially being like the hero for this part of the story and not Denji. And it just feels like Fujimoto could possibly be dropping a lot of balls here. Yeah,
You know,
there's just a lot, man. There's
I'll
just a
say
lot.
there was like Fujimoto was always good. Like I would get fatigued halfway through an arc, like going throughout part two, right? But the way he ends like certain things, like the aquarium, the way he ended the aquarium, and we see like Fami, we see Asa use the aquarium spear thing, and then like the prison thing. How like you could say yeah, it fits in the power system, whatever. Asa literally bought the security system for the prison.
Mm.
What? Like, cause she's like, she's neurodivergent, so she like thinks she owns it or some shit. Oh my god! Like I could that's when I was like, but then the thing is, Fami used that bird, the guillotine bird, and like Quan Chi was like pulling up. It was like all these things kind of started playing. I was like, okay, he got me back in.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, honestly, like this is why we decided to like keep it short, because we could really talk about Chainsaw Man all day in regards to like picking at it. Before I, like I said, before I judge it, I'll binge read it. I do. I don't know if it's cope or not. Like I see, Chainsaw Man fans here. Looks like we got some of them. I just want to read a couple chat here. Post says, I regret reading it weekly. I got fatigue from its character progression and digression from Denji. Feel that. I
Poe
kept
gets
coping and only got nothing.
Poe gets fatigued from drawing his sussy thumbnails for lines.
No, but I think that's I think a lot of Chainsaw Man fans, even like the more hardcore readers, have also feel like a bit of a sense of betrayal because of this very same feeling. And I agree with that, like with that sentiment on Denji. If this is just it it really is hard to just kind of feel like, oh well, this is great. Like I even like last chapter. Like I did like that moment between Denji and Pochita, like in a vacuum, because I think it makes a lot of sense for Denji's character and what we've seen from Pochita. That whole thing last chapter really works by itself, but next, my big issue is just like the next chapter just being the last one. Like that to me is
I,
where like
I mean, I hope it just
mind blown,
ends.
really. Like just
Like honestly, I do. I like just be done with it. Let Fujimoto, like as Poe said, take a break. Let him like recoup, because you could tell he was kind of like the art wasn't there at certain points. Like it felt like his heart wasn't really in it in some moments. Like not saying he was phoning it in, but it's just he couldn't really give it his all. And I could definitely see him pairing up with an artist for another series down the line. But I hope it's over. And it's so funny, Chainsaw Man fans, like, yeah, y'all can say part 1, those first 97 chapters was a masterpiece, because it was. But boy, you know that the response every time is, but what about the rest of the 260 the what is it 170 chapters of part 2?
Yeah.
Yeah, what about those? Like the majority of that make up Chainsaw Man.
We'll see, man. We'll see. At this point, I think the best we can do is just hope for a part 3. I do also understand the sentiment, like let him be done with it, like let him take a break. But at the same time, like to me, it just right now, it doesn't feel like this doesn't feel like what it felt like what was going down with Jujutsu Kaisen in terms of like Shinjuku Showdown and leading up to that ending and those last 5 chapters. That really felt like we were just headed towards a rushed ending. There was like a lot of things, right? There was like a lack of presence from Megumi. There was the whole Nobara thing.
JJK spoilers too while we're at it.
oh damn, yeah, apologize. Excuse me. Sorry.
They probably all read JJK.
I didn't really say anything specific either, but ultimately what I'm trying to say is like with JJK leading up to the ending, you just knew, you just got that feeling that a lot of it was being rushed. With Chainsaw Man, it's almost worse in the sense that it's just like whiplash. It's just like you got this chapter again. Yeah,
5 chapters
dude, and
left. Nothing to prepare us for to start looking, like nothing to give us a warning sign for us to take a step back and be like, okay, let's look at these final 5 chapters with a different lens. It's about to end. We know that. So let's just take everything for what it is. Now we just got blindsided by this. So it's a lot to take in.
Yeah. Like my reaction before I noticed the last chapter announcement at the bottom of the page was entirely different. I was like, oh shit, this is a wild chapter. And then when I go back and realize that little message at the bottom of the page, I was like, what the fuck? And you talked about that chat we have with Jello. Like I talked to you guys, I was like, what the hell? Like, again, that's just really what's crazy to me.
Me and Jello about the mud wrestle.
Yeah, and so like ultimately to the point that to me it doesn't feel like, unless you just got a distaste for the story, or this is the way he'd had always been drawing it up and it just ending so abruptly, I just don't feel like this was Fujimoto losing love for Chainsaw Man or anything like that. I feel like it's more likely that he knew exactly the reaction that this was going to provoke, and there's a part 3 coming. Maybe it's cope. Maybe it's just Fujimoto doesn't give a shit.
I think that's hope.
We'll find out.
I think that's just hope. Yeah,
it's just hope.
The thing I say, this I've read the Hokuzen. I read the Fujimoto one shots. I read Fire Punch, and the writing in part 2 is strong. The execution leaves much to be desired. Pretty sloppy. The release schedule, the page count, there were a lot of things going up, that were going up against the readers to fully engage.
Exactly.
I do think that the binge read will hit different, but I don't think it's going to hit different enough to where you look at the story and say, man, this was a good conclusion to Chainsaw Man, if this is the last part. I don't see that. And I will say, I think the handling, this is the worst I've seen Hokuzono handle an ending. Fujimoto. It's the worst I've seen him handle. And I Look Back is one of the 9 manga that I would identify with. Look Back is amazing to me. And I love Chainsaw Man. I like Fire Punch, but this is just something. I'd rather him just be done with it and let him just get his break and be like Gege. Let Gege be done with JJK. Let them grow as who their own individual creator. Or fuck it, what do I know? I'm over here talking about Ibuki half the goddamn time.
That's accurate. Right. That's all for me in terms, at least with Chainsaw Man. We can maybe get back to it some other time, especially after the last chapter. Maybe we'll talk about it. Who am I kidding? We'll definitely talk about it after the last chapter on stream again. So we'll see what happens.
I changed the background. I mean, I'm sure people left already. They're just staring at Soga's back the whole time, but
I didn't see a huge
this shit sound good on mute.
I didn't see a huge dip in viewers. It looks like most people stuck around.
Yeah, I think the reader, there's a lot of mutual readers between JJK, Chainsaw Man, and Kagurabachi.
Yeah, agreed. So yeah, I had said there was like two things I really wanted to run through and kind of get, mainly chat's thoughts as well as yours, Tiberius. Um, you know, first is Mashiro. We've entertained like who he is, the theories, that part of the conversation. But you and me did a little bit of not too much speculation in terms of his sorcery. And we got that full page with him with the blade behind his back, it being unsheathed. There was some like waves or something along those lines
Like sound
that
waves
we
or
saw.
like ripples.
Yeah, so I want chat to go off in terms of what they think Mashiro's sorcery is, as well as you, Tiberius. What are you thinking right now? I know you had we've talked about, again, we talked about this. So
Yeah, my
where you at right now?
dumbass was talking about like we knew Kunishige made that sword, so I was thinking, what if that sword had like some magical attribute to it? We know Flamebone exists, so but I was thinking like what like Kunishige wouldn't be familiar. I don't know if it's even possible to craft a magical sword at that point for him. You know what I mean? Uh,
Oh yeah,
so I mean,
agreed.
maybe it's just like sound, something with sound. You know, fart manipulation, like Zoni said. Yep.
Oh god.
Telekinesis, yeah,
Oh
kind of like,
god.
or maybe he's like a better version of Momo from JJK, Curse Tool Manipulation, where he can control his sword. Oh yeah, see, like Don said, they said telekinesis. Yeah, like I kind of agree with that, like telekinesis.
Telekinesis makes a lot of sense because the blade is being unsheathed without him having to
Yeah,
touch it.
and he's doing
Um,
the mudra thing.
yes, and he's doing the mudra. It's a pretty cool page, honestly, and it makes me think that Mashiro is gonna be a problem. So a non-enchanted blade wielder that I hope we get to see pop off in the battlefield, because
He's gonna
he
get
does
popped
seem like,
off.
yeah, well, that too, right? But when he seems, the way we've seen him kind of like interact with Shiba now, he's obviously his underling, and the way he's behaved has been pretty. Um, I can't really find the words for it, but I think you guys know what I'm trying to say in terms of like the personality. So I do want to see just really, like a big contrast in terms of when he's moving in the battlefield, because it starts to paint these guys, like Shiba as well, that they are like, it's not just Shiba. We know Shiba's the pinnacle of sorcery, but it would be cool to see somebody like Mashiro just crazy, because it just kind of, I think, helps it helps us kind of get a feel for like the kind of guys that were working for either the counter sorcery army or whoever it is exactly that they're kind of reporting to right now. Um, I just would like to see Mashiro have his moment, and I agree. I think the telekinesis or something similar is the more likely,
I
what
agree.
we're gonna see.
And one thing I'll say about Mashiro, I think Mashiro's inclusion in the story is important because, like, if Shiba is our perspective, because most likely this could be Shiba telling Chihiro like literally what he went through during like the wartime and all that, like breaking down everything. But Shiba's our perspective, so for us to follow Shiba throughout this flashback arc, we can't just be interested in like the surrounding events. You know what I mean? There has to be like a dynamic. He has to have a dynamic with somebody that's always going to be by his side, like a partner, someone that's going to add story and add like a engagement for us, like while we're following Shiba, because it's not just Shiba like finding things out. It's Shiba finding things out while also like teaching Mashiro or bringing him along and get his reaction, because his questions are gonna influence like characterization. Like look at him with Kunishige, as he was like talking about Kunishige, he's like forming generalized opinions of what others are thinking, like in obviously like
Yeah.
look like a crackhead, but like he's kind of he's like a tether for us to follow Shiba's character and just to like, I guess, be more engaged with Shiba's like interpersonal dynamics, like, and not just learning about the war stuff, where he's just teleporting from one place to one place.
Yeah, no, I feel that for sure, definitely. It'd be cool to see them fight alongside each other though. Like we saw like how Shiba did those those henchmen or whatever we want to call them.
Fall damage,
But
Sheba.
fall damage. But it would be cool to see that duo in action. I really think Mashiro is a problem, man. Especially if he can wield that blade without having to like physically wield it. That would be that'd be pretty fun to see. Kind of like that one character from Guardians of the Galaxy with the whistle or whatever. I'm forgetting what his name is. Yandu, is it? Yandu?
I don't know. Do I have a job?
Something like that I think would be pretty cool. So yeah, I don't know if there's anything else you kind of want to talk about Mashiro before I just have one last question for you guys.
Here's Sun Tzu said, do you subscribe to the theory that Mashiro is related to Hinao because of the hair? Dice has been on that theory since that chapter dropped. Shiny, what's up, my guy?
What's good, Shiny?
That boy goat. Dice has been like really, and I put this on Dice's soul. I do think Dice kind of brought up Hanao's connection with him, like before it started picking up track on Twitter and all that. I'll give him credit for that horrible theory. I'm just playing.
I don't know, man. Like I at this point I don't even know, because like we talked about him just being like a Haibara. I can see that him. Prince Blade had a great theory in terms of him being possibly the big Kamunabi higher up. At some point, I was like really subscribed to that theory as well. Then I kind of started a bit kind of moving towards like, I don't know if him specifically, just because the body type is so different. And I get like you can change, you can change like after war, and like war does things to you. But like they're just like, we're talking about completely different body types. And so I can definitely see it, but I can also see Mashiro being like the younger brother of that Kamunabi higher up. But the Hinao, the thing about Hinao is that like I like Hinao as a character. I've always said that it's pretty cool. And the reason I want to see more of her character is because she's like a normie dealing with sorcerers and enchanted blade bearers, and she's got connections and this whole thing. And I think she offers a fresh perspective, with somebody like Yori now kind of like, I told you I called her like a fake normie, because Yori has like, at some point she had like the memories of like her having a normal life, but she actually comes from that world and hasn't really like gotten to live in it, versus Hinao, who's like actually a normie but has been like seemingly in this world for a good amount of time. And just the connection to Shiba, to me, for Shiba's character as well, it would be like very touching if Mashiro was like either the father or like a really older brother for Hinao. I think for Shiba's character and this whole thing of him being like a guardian, he was a Soga guardian, he's now the Chihiro, like Chihiro's
Bro,
I don't know if protector is the right word.
Bro's over 2 being a guardian.
But I think
one more chance for Chihiro.
Yeah, I think it would be really touching if he now is related to Mashiro, and if like Mashiro's dying wish was for like Shiba to look after his daughter or something like that. And it's an excuse to kind of bring Hinao back into the fold. So
is it just
I don't know, man.
I don't want everyone being related.
I get it. No, that's why I said like, and I can also see him just being a Haibara. I don't know, man. I can see all three theories. I see them equally.
It's plausible.
Yeah. I don't know what to think, but I'm definitely here for him, being related to Hinao, for the reasons I just brought up. So we'll see.
Yeah, I think Hinao is a lot like that girl, that girl from Sakamoto days, Lou. I don't remember her name, but she's like disappears for like a long time.
Yeah.
Char, we'll come back to. Yeah, Shiny loves Char. That boy, that's his.
Yeah.
Shiba.
I expect to see Char as well.
He loves Shiba and Char. Shiny got bad taste in characters, boy. I'm just playing. I love Shiny.
Don't do Shiny like that. So I don't know if you have anything else to say before I kind of like have one more question.
Just to praise the gospel of Ibuki Masaka.
No.
I'm gonna make
cook him.
I'm gonna make a song. I'm gonna make like an actual song. Some soulful singing. You're gonna hear me on auto-tune.
Hold on. D the man. I know you're trolling.
Yeah, he's
I know
trolling.
you're trolling.
That dude's in
you're not gonna,
all the Kagurabachi streams. That dude.
You're not gonna rage bait me like that.
Yo, Char's mom?
Oh my god, we doing this?
No, we're not. Nah, I don't think we're gonna see a Koyanagi clan just yet. But what could happen is the flashback could end, where we see the ending of the war, we see the malediction, and then basically it talks about the aftermath. You know, the aftermath of like Yura's story, like all the sorcerers kind of disbanding and, you know, stealing and doing damage to the war-torn areas and looting. And then we see Yura get affected, and then maybe that plays into like the Koyanagi somehow. Like the effects of the war ending, we see that, and then it leads up to modern times.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see a lot of these characters like Yura like until towards the end of this arc, like maybe the last, especially considering how Hokuzono's pace is, maybe the last 3 chapters of this arc is when we get into like the fallout, and we just kind of like, we see like we see a bit of Yura, we see Hishaku, we see whether it's like the Kamunabi officially being formed. Like I think we might see like a little montage type thing in regards to like all the things that we know take place but are related to like the fallout of the war rather than like within the war itself. I can see that like just kind of being addressed in the last couple of chapters, just to kind of like bring us back to speed and make the connections and just kind of like really get a grasp of where everything is standing right before we jump back in.
Yeah, before we get off, I really want to mention one thing. Subaru being the first one that we meet in the flashback, the fact that he is a master swordsmith himself and a sword bearer, that leads me to believe that Chihiro is going to struggle forging the sword. So when we get back to present time, I think Chihiro is going to get tutored by Subaru. So that also makes me think that Subaru is the one that taught Kunishige, and it'd be like full circle that he teaches his son as well to like create, a nuke.
That'd be very interesting to see. Yeah. That's a good one, man. I hadn't even considered that, yeah.
Well, this is what I do, man. I cook, and I love Ibuki. That's what we do around here.
Yeah, I guess I'll leave you guys with this. When is the war starting? You guys think it's starting anytime soon? Give your chapter predictions.
That's a good question.
Yeah. I want to see where chat is at. Like, give me like a number in terms of how many chapters before we get the official like, boom, the war has begun. Type text or panel or whatever you want to. Yeah.
Yo,
what do you think, Ty?
I'm thinking like 7 chapters.
Ooh, that much? You think so?
Like
7?
6 or 7, yeah. 6, 7. I'm an old man. Let me. You kids with your rap music and your stickers and your scooters.
Lucas says 5 chapters. Kid Mo says 10 chapters. Okay, so he got you beat. Okay.
Oh, how about that thumbnail though?
Uriah and the students. Oh yeah, I saw somebody talking about that.
Yeah, I saw that. 5'6" Subaru. I said we can't see his perspective because everyone's gonna be chest high. We'll just see everybody's chest.
No, stop it. No height shaming.
Us 5'9" people have to feel superior some way. Since every motherfucker in this chat happens to be 6 foot, I know Shiny's over 6 foot.
Oh shit, man! Yeah, Karasu, who was in here earlier, he's also like
he's 7 foot.
He's like 6'4". Oh, I'm dead, man. I'm dead.
Kid Mo,
it seems like
I do think we're gonna get. I do think we're gonna get a lot more Kunishige Kid Mo. I think he's gonna be like a big mainstay going forward.
Yeah, I know I've seen like a lot of people. Alon's talked about this as well, like us following Shiba. I can see that, but I don't know if it's just me, but I think it makes a lot more sense to follow Kunishige. Like, we'll definitely see some things from the perspective of Shiba, but I am very much interested in following Kunishige. So
hey, Zoni, we get it, bro. You're 6 foot and you're 17.
By the way, my god, he's proud.
Yeah, go off, King.
But yeah, just kind of wrapping up here. It seems like most of you guys are land somewhere between 5 and 10 chapters. I I want to go on a limb and say like 3 chapters. Just plug it. Hot take, if that counts as one. But I think in 3 chapters we're heading into the war. Again, considering Hokazono's pacing, I think we could be jumping into the war in like 3 chapters. I'll just say that.
He does do a lot with a little. You know, he really does make use of like the pages.
Shit, me too.
Okay, see, look at this dude. The 2-inch Punisher talking. Dude, can't even get an enchanted blade. He got an enchanted dagger.
Oh, man.
Little Wakazashi penis. Boy, get out of here. You gonna have like the Mihawk necklace. I know the One Piecers in here know that. The boy got a little necklace with a blade on it. We call that the dice.
Nah, man.
Yo, dice though, big balls though.
Yo, that is true.
Is like a funhouse mirror down there.
Oh my god, man.
I'm getting cooked in chat. I'm bringing somebody down with me, bro.
No, not me though. Not me. Bring Zoni or somebody.
No, Zoni's 17, bro. He got a long life to live.
Oh.
And Zoni better do his English homework and his classes. You better be keeping up on that too.
Yeah, you better keep that up, Zoni.
Yeah.
None of that like slacking off.
Chat, tickle his feet.
Man, I think this was supposed to be a 115 theory stream, and I think we talked about a whole lot of stuff, mainly the Seitei War. And, I think it makes sense, right? I think people, everybody here was for it. I think it's been a good conversation.
I don't.
Very interesting theories.
All 6 foot motherfuckers in this chat.
Cook him, chat. Cook him.
Oh, Dice Berius.
Oh man. Yeah, it's Diceberius, D man. That's it. It's Diceberius. You see, we didn't even have to think about it. We had that shit already. That's how you know it's the thing. Deberius. No, I don't like that one, Rage. So Chad, go off. Is there...
Hey, I'm praying on all y'all's downfall. All you 6 foot motherfuckers, I'm praying on y'all. I'm playing.
Yeah,
Zoni, I hope Zoni gets a C in English next time.
Nah, leave Zoni alone. Man, you have anything else to say? Anything else to add, as well as chat? We're looking. If you guys have anything else to say, go off now.
Yeah, if you don't join the Discord, we will come for you.
Ty will.
Oh yeah.
Ty will. I'm chilling.
I'm gonna come in that thing like Hokuto.
Oh man.
Well, it was a good stream though. These are our theory streams. We're gonna try and do these every Wednesday. Obviously, me and Dice have jobs. I don't know if you kids know what that is, but so we really don't know when we're gonna stream until like the Tuesday or Wednesday. But we do appreciate everyone joining. Been a blast. We love engaging with y'all. I used to do a lot of community events for another Discord server. They were actually like a One Piece podcast actually.
Oh my god!
I basically ran all their community events in the Discord, and I plan on doing those in the Hishaku Hideout Discord. Like a community ranked tier list where we all kind of vote, and then we use the average of where to place the characters, things like that. So join the Discord, or I'll pray on your downfall. It's your choice. It's all good either way. And we'll have an episode Sunday,
Yeah, yes we will. We will be there, our regularly scheduled program. Appreciate you guys. Engaging conversation. Appreciate all the chats. You guys have me cracking up.
Yep.
Today, so.
And put in the comment section like some ideas that you think would be good for like member content. Things you want to see.
Yeah, that's
and we might not we might just ignore your submission, but we still love you. I'm just playing, but Now the because me and Dice do have some ideas, but you know it's a members thing. So if we're gonna open up a membership, we want to make sure that we're giving the members, you know, things that they're actually interested in seeing. And you know, anime's coming up, so we got stuff. We got something special planned for the anime, kind of. And other than that, we'll see y'all Sunday.
Yeah, the member content will eventually be rolled out for everybody, but yeah, obviously we got to do something for the members. So let us know. Let us know. We'll look at everything and evaluate the options. But just know that that content will eventually be available for everybody as well. So appreciate you guys. That's all for me.
Oh, Max Timmer dice clips of him actually throwing dice. Yeah. And all he's wearing is some thick ass cotton white socks and his boxers.
Of course. Oh yeah. Thanks for the suggestion, Shiny. I'll consider it.
Now I got something to dream about now. All I need is Dice to do an Ibuki cosplay, and I'm done, boy. I could die happy. But like Dice was saying before we go, like it'll probably be like a week or two from when we go from member content into like turning it into public, you know, the public content. But you know, so we'll roll that out soon. I'll make an announcement. Keep an eye out for that, and y'all have a good night.
Yeah, D the Man, Lucas, Shiny, Rage, Sunsu, Don Valladares, everybody that's been here, Angry Demon Noises,
What'd you just say?
Zoni, Mark. Don Valladares. Yeah, bro. All of you guys, Kid Mo in here earlier, Prince Blade. Appreciate every single one of you. I said Zoni. Yeah, okay. I said Zoni. So that's thanks, guys. Oh, you appreciate you guys. You guys have a good one.
All right, y'all be cool. Peace. Good night.